Kate, I think you're here to join us, are you?
I am. I arrived at some point. Yes, thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Kate. Great.
So,
would you like to take over?
It kind of really feels weird having a photo there, because I thought there was mostly postgrads coming in. Everybody knows what I look to, and I'm smiling far too much to be a serious researcher on that one.
Not at all.
But a lot of the research that I have done would focus on dementia, and that would be everything from and I would call all the work I do under the banner of prevention. So when we're talking about prevention, I'm going from kind of primary prevention, so prevention of any kind of biomarkers in the brain from occurring, to secondary prevention, that is like when somebody shows the biomarkers of dementia in the brain but doesn't actually have any symptoms, trying to keep those people well, to tertiary prevention, so when people have dementia, trying to minimize the symptoms and maximize well-being. So I would put all of the research I do under the prevention banner. And a lot of the work that I do comes from a person-centered care ethos, which means, because I think a lot of people say person-centered, that they don't well, first of all, a lot of people who say it have never read anything about person-centered care. So what I feel I need to qualify when I say it's person-centered care, that means that you take an intentional stance towards people with dementia, which means that they have some reality that is really worth trying to share with you, and that you rate your own failings as a communicator just as equally as their failings as a person with dementia. So very briefly, that's kind of my take on person-centered care, which is theoretically backed up by the work of philosophically backed up by the work of Buber, Rogers and Kitwood in the most dementia related way. And the other thing that's really important about the work that I do would be whenever you're working with people with dementia, it invokes ethics, because there are always questions of agency and autonomy, and that's a central question in a lot of the research that I do, and it's the question of one of my PhD students' work would be, what does autonomy mean in the context of dementia? How is it at play in the lives of people with dementia? So ethics is a big kind of factor within a lot of the work that I do, because it's impossible to engage meaningfully with people with dementia unless you really carefully consider the ethics that are involved. And I guess because of that commitment to engagement of the people in the population who all of my research kind of serves, I got involved with the Centre for Engaged Research, and so I'm the co-director of the Centre for Engaged Research, and I think that's really interesting for our postgrad students, because we're running a really popular GTE on engaged research, which is a kind of, bit of a difficult title for us as researchers, because what does it mean to do engaged research? Does that mean that some people do disengaged research? No, of course not. But what it does mean is that at some point in the research cycle, you have to engage with engagement methodologies, I suppose. You have to become skilled in engagement methodologies, at least at some point. And it's becoming the watchword of most funding bodies these days, that there will be elements of engagement throughout the research cycle. So the Centre is committed to supporting researchers in DCU and nationally undertake more engaged research, more meaningful engaged research, to develop engaged research methodologies, to showcase engaged research that is going on, to promote engaged research, and to get more engagement partnerships. So Ronnie works really hard on making partnerships with lots of different community groups that we can help DCU researchers make contact with. So the showcasing is mainly on the website, and we also had a number of different really good seminars last semester. So that's my research in sort of three parts: ethics, dementia, and engagement issues. and they're all obviously very intertwined and connected and complex. And there's some of the publications that kind of, oh, there's an N missing, Novitsky. There's they're some of the publications recently that we've done, looking at everything from dementia prevention to service provision to communication skills. So that's me.